welcome again to another edition of Woodsy's Weekly Picks. We are coming to you from the Lancaster Tap House with members of Lancaster Council. Right here, our council director from the Regina Pats, Stacey Cattell, as usual. Our Minister of Ways and Means from the Lancaster Tap House is Tim Rogers. And the mayor, back from a one-game suspension for making ridiculous picks, Darren Wilcox.
Nice shades, Willie.
Thank you. Thanks, guys. I missed you.
You don't want to be seen.
You guys missed me.
Yeah, we did.
I've got an eye infection, and we're very bright in here, so I have to put these prescription sunglasses on here.
We also missed you like a toothache, but that's okay.
Yes.
Just kidding. Just kidding. We missed you.
Did you learn your lesson?
I did, and I've got Tony and I Tony won the Oscar from the Golden Nugget in Vegas. We discussed a lot. I said I'm getting a lot of heat here. He did his homework, so I'm ready this week, guys.
Ready, on fire. Here we go.
You got it figured out.
Don't look at that. Tony is always right.
Yeah, I know. And we've got peanut gallery here with signs, and I'm sure that something nasty will come back when I've got my back turned. Oh, that's what I like. All right, let's go over what happened last week.
It's getting ugly.
In Toronto, of course, we all predicted the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, and what happens? Toronto comes back to win. The Bombers got cocky, in my opinion, up 20-0.
Yeah.
There they were, laughing, giggling on the sidelines. There was Michael O'Shea, the head coach, grinning away at stuff. They thought that was in the
It was
bag.
over. Second quarter, it was over.
Absolutely, yeah.
And that just goes to show you, even a team like Toronto can come back to bite you if you're not prepared to play 60 minutes.
You know, I gotta say, I kind of feel bad that Willie wasn't here last week, because would you have picked Toronto?
I would have. And I did. I was 4-0. But I wasn't here to say it. I was 4-0 off record, like off the table.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah, we believe that.
Well, you know, just, you know, on that game, last week you guys had our former D lineman on your show that was in Toronto, was here on our 2013 team. Ricky Foley. And you know what Ricky Foley talked about? He talked about Corey Chamberlain, the Corey Chamberlain he knew, with fire in his belly and an attitude on the sidelines and in guys' grill. And he said some guys didn't like it when he was here. He liked it. And Corey Chamberlain was that way in that Winnipeg game. He was fired up. And he was motivating guys, and down 20-0, he wasn't giving up, and all of a sudden momentum swings, and Winnipeg folds.
What was with him? He wasn't wearing his headsets. Jim Pop is down there on the sidelines, telling him to make a challenge. Who was calling the shots down there?
Interesting.
Yeah, I know. Well, Jim Pop's in every coach's ear. He just a wannabe coach. But, you know, moving on, Winnipeg's got cocky. They're now 2 losses in a row, and we'll see.
Yeah, well,
I don't think they're that good now.
Big test this week against the Calgary Stampeders at home. We'll talk about that game in just a little bit. Meanwhile, Ottawa beats Montreal in overtime. That was the best game of the week by far. Woodsy was the only guy to get that one right.
Good job, Woodsy.
Thank you very much.
Well done. I think you only picked that to be.
Well, you know what? The thing is that if they don't make a couple of kick returns for touchdowns, they're probably getting killed in that.
I called that one too.
But was that
You weren't
wasn't
here.
that some kind of punt return where he breaks about 5 or 6 tackles?
That was unbelievable. But, you know, there's punt returns where, you know, there's good blocks and they find a seam or they beat the corner. This guy just ran through everybody.
What's going on with tackling and punt returns and kickoff returns? Are they just trying to pop them?
Yeah, they're just looking for kill shots.
Yeah.
That's what gets you on sports.
Get you the highlights.
That's what gets you on the highlight.
Wow.
reels.
Sure does when you miss them.
Here's
I'm wrapping up.
Yeah.
You know, you're professional football players. You're supposed to be able to.
Here's the other thing that
not drugs.
Yeah, here's the other thing that I found, because that was the first Montreal game that I watched the whole thing. So once again, they were leading in turnovers. You know, Ottawa was shooting themselves in the foot. But early on in the game, how many times when Montreal made a play did they all jump all over each other, start taking pictures of each other, midfield, not a touchdown? And what did Ottawa do? Plugged away, won the game. So maybe a lesson for Montreal, like Winnipeg, don't get cocky.
He doesn't know that much about hockey either. All right.
Whoa.
No, the signage back here.
Oh, peanut gallery.
Listen, remember, don't let the crowd get into your.
I know. I gotta
Come on,
focus. Stay focused. I get it. Calgary over Edmonton. Why did we all pick the Eskimos in that one? Well, nobody picked the Stampeders. Just basic. I guess because they were I still wasn't really sold on them. I thought Edmonton was
I originally did, and then you told me to change my pick, and I listened to
You
you.
were going to change your pick, and I told you not to do that.
Oh, okay, whatever.
What?
Because that's bad karma.
Yeah. What's the saying? Rumors of my demise have been sadly exaggerated. I think Calgary's still showing us they still got something in the tank yet.
I told you guys, Nick Beltbuckle is a good quarterback. I told you that weeks ago.
He's a good quarterback. There's no question about it. I just don't know that they are still, they're still not the old Stampeders. They've lost just too much talent. But you got to give them credit. They're
winning games.
They found a way.
They just find a way. No question about it. We'll see what they do against the Bombers this week. All right. The Saskatchewan Roughriders knock off Hamilton. We were all saying, okay, you won back-to-back games, but against the BC Lions. This time you had some quality opposition to get the job done.
Absolutely, and they made mistakes. They recovered from their mistakes. They stayed focused. I love what our coaching staff did. I love the energy on the field, and even a sprinkle of Jesus.
Sprinkle of Jesus.
A sprinkle of Jesus helped our quarterback out. Hey, this kid's got a lot of energy, and God bless him.
You can't not like him so far.
Goes out there and has a carnival dog, corn dog after the game.
Yeah.
You ought to get him to endorse the
we'll
the
set up
corn
a deal
dog
with Lancaster corn dogs.
Yeah.
They're good.
Yeah, they are. They are good, but he likes ketchup on his only. That's a fail to me. Yeah, you got to have some mustard on there as well. But I like the kid as well. The energy that he shows. And listen, that was a gutsy touchdown. You know, he had to dive for that pylon. He knew he was going to take a beating, and but that's the kind of makeup this guy has. He's a competitor. He's a gamer.
It's a spark, right? It's one of those things that sparks a whole team, and we're already flying on a high. So,
and guys are playing around him on both sides of the ball. They're feeding off the energy, and I really also like what we did on defense. We lost some key guys on defense, and Evans played well, and they still, even though they were short a couple players too. Our guys rallied. They played hard, and good on them. They got a win, and we'll see what happens in Montreal.
The Riders make a trade this week as well. They send Christian Jones, their kick returner, over to Edmonton in need of a return guy, and get a reliable receiver, I think, in Kenny Stafford. I think this is a good move for Saskatchewan, only because I didn't think Christian Jones was nearly the returner that he was last year.
Well, I think two things. I mean, number one, we've got two other returners that have touchdowns.
Yeah.
So we don't need a third. And number two, I think this is just further purging all the Chris Joneses out of our system. So, I like this one better, but Chris Jones is gone.
I don't think you can have enough depth at receiver either.
No.
And with Kenny Stafford, that made KD Cannon expendable. I think he's going to be a good receiver in this league. He's certainly a fast guy, but they obviously felt that they could get along with what they have. So he was released. I'm sure
he's going to stretch the field too. And you got a quarterback now that can throw deep and can check off on 1, 2, and 3, not just look at one. And so I love it.
Well, and also look across the line now. We all of a sudden have a heck of a receiving corps with Shaq Evans being is he the top receiver in the league, right? We've got Nabat Roosevelt, we've got Arsenault, we've got Kenny Stafford, we've just got weapons all of a sudden.
Well, now we have depth. So if a guy gets hurt in practice, which can or can't happen, you've got guys that and again that mentality and coach has said that a couple times. Next man up, next guy steps in, takes a job over. And last game was again an example. We had injuries, guy stepped in, filled holes, and we continued to do well and win the game.
Getting pretty tight in the West Division now all of a sudden, isn't it?
It's great.
It's
exciting.
The Lions are probably the only team that are out of it, and everybody else is still very much in the mix.
Yeah, well, big game, Calgary and Winnipeg for first place this week. I mean, we have the opportunity to jump into a tie for second place, or we're there already. But
I know it's early, but you got to think those 4 teams are going to be in the playoffs. There's going to be a crossover.
It wasn't looking like that 2 weeks ago, right?
Yeah, but I think it's going to happen.
And I think it was you.
A crossover, I'm not so sure.
Well, I like what you said last week, though. I think it was you, Tim, that said the beauty part about this league is everybody can beat everybody.
Yeah.
And we were always saying, except Toronto. Well, Toronto beat Winnipeg. So maybe that's the gas in the fuel tank that they need to kind of get on a run and start playing better football.
What does Toronto do now with Zach Collaros? And they still start him now that they've got to win, or what
I don't know
happens?
they'll start him right away. I think they'll see what they've got to win now with McLeod Bethel Thompson.
Yeah.
I think you probably start him, let him ride with it, give him a little.
So he's
reward
2-12 now as a starter.
Well, I know, but you give him a little reward for coming back and winning.
He
that
rebounded. Yeah, I think he rebounded well, and he even talked about the fact that he had to play better.
Oh, absolutely.
And you guys were talking about on the Green Zone this week, where this is a guy that had no confidence. Well, look at him at the end of the game. He did really well, and he led them to victory. I think with Zach Collaros, it's whether or not he can remember to go to the stadium. If he gets that right for a couple of weeks, you might give him a shot.
Oh, that's
Hey?
Ouch.
Yeah.
Oh,
Hey,
wow.
hey,
that's tough.
he's not wearing green and white anymore. See you later. Thanks for coming.
I think you know if you can get the.
I'm just going to slide over in case you get hit by lightning over here. My gosh.
I think
You talked about the Chris Jones stuff. Gone.
That's fair. We don't like him. I didn't like him.
Yeah, absolutely.
Wasn't it?
Okay.
Bethel Thompson a little bit of time,
Yeah.
and then I think Zach's got a little bit more time in the playbook, but you'll see him sooner
Yep.
rather than later. All right. We're back here once again at the Lancaster Tap House. Members of Lancaster Council here for Woodsy's picks for this week, week 9 in the CFL. Our council director, Stacey Cattell from the Regina Pats here once again, along with our Minister of Ways and Means, Tim Rogers, and the mayor. Back from a 1-week suspension.
Hey! I'm not getting any cheering.
You're not
Welcome
getting
back,
any support
superstar.
from the peanut gallery, buddy.
Karen Wilcox is here.
Yeah, there you go.
All right, well, we should talk about the standings here, or should we? Well, Mike Lee, who's back here, so trying to protect his lead so he doesn't have to make
He
predictions.
doesn't want to take any picks
Yeah.
anymore.
No, because he's 83.3%, but of course he's only picked on 12 games, not like everybody else here.
That's right.
Woodsy, though, has 74% correct.
Doing well, doing well. Hats off to you, buddy.
Tim's at 73, he's right on my tail. Stacy's
Yeah.
at 70, pretty good. Really, because he had to sit out last week, that's what cost him the most. You
Not
that's-
really.
That's kind of like his game check.
Not really.
Takes a beating. in the-
I hope you learned your lesson.
60%.
I did not.
Right? No.
We had and Morgan Allen, who was a guest panelist, lay down there because
Yeah. We had a rough
1-3
first week.
record,
Had a rough first
so
week.
he's out.
Yeah.
Done.
Yeah. Thanks for coming out.
Yeah.
One shot,
Yeah.
Morgan.
That's
I can't say one shot Willy
That's the
because
best you
Willy's
can
at
do.
the end.
Bye.
Bye.
Let's get going. Thursday kicks off week 9 with a classic. It should be the Calgary Stampeders and the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. The Bombers are at home after losing 2 in a row in the East. Willie, what do you think?
Tony, one nostril. Golden Nugget Vegas says go with Calgary.
Oh! Any particular reason why? Did
He
Tony?
just likes the sound of Calgary.
Oh, okay.
And I think Nick Arbuckle.
Belt buckle.
That's
Belt
what it is.
buckle, yeah.
Tony says he likes him. I'm going to trust Tony again. He was 4-0, but I couldn't put my picks in last week, so he was 4-0 last week.
All right, Tim.
You know, I think Bo Levi Mitchell's getting close. Garfield's dad is in quarterback now, John Arbuckle. But I'm going to go with Winnipeg. That's just it's 50-50. This game's going to be close, I think.
Yep.
All right.
I'm not going to disagree with you. You're right, it's 50-50, but Artie Pinsetter's in the back, and he already chimed in on the good pick, and I'm going Calgary. Going Calgary because I think there's stuff going on with Winnipeg.
2 in a row, 2 losses in a row.
And I'm going to go with the Blue Bombers. I think they will be much better at home after being in the East for a couple of weeks. I'm sure the home cooking will taste a little better for them. I think they will rebound against the Calgary Stampeders team at home. But as mentioned, they're going to have to play a lot better than they have been.
Yeah.
I think they will. So I'm going to go with the Bombers. So we've got 2 with the Bombers and 2 with the 2 at the same. That's probably the way it should be, just
Yep.
because I think this game is pretty evenly matched. All right, Friday night. The Riders will kick things off. Friday night football. We got a doubleheader going on. The Riders in Montreal to take on the Alouettes. Now, earlier in the season, I think there's no question you would have just marked this an automatic win for the green and white. But Montreal, as we know, is playing better. Probably should have won that game against the Red Blacks. And they are at home. Saskatchewan doesn't necessarily play that great when they go to Montreal. There's always the Crescent Street flu that you could possibly come down with. So kind of even things out a little bit. Let's go with Tim, first of all. What's your pick?
You know, this whole week is a heck of a week. Every game is tight, I think, and this one's no different. It's a coin toss. I hate to say it, but I'm going to go with Montreal. I think if this was here, I would take Saskatchewan. In Montreal, you're right. It's tough to win there. I'm going to take Montreal.
Well, I'm going to really mess with you because the Montreal Alouettes are in the CFL.
Yes, they are.
Are the Miami Dolphins for me in the NFL. Every time I don't pick them, they win. Every time I pick them, they lose. So the reverse, I'm going to sacrifice my 70%. I'm picking Montreal, which is going to be a guaranteed win for the Riders.
Oh,
how are you going to figure
I
that one out?
I like it. Good job.
Hey?
Reverse psychology.
Yeah, so that might be a win-win for me.
Okay.
I don't know. That doesn't really count. No.
But-
There's
And
no
I
win,
got
win.
kicked
There's no
off.
other win.
And we're going with that?
Yeah.
That's all he's got.
No, I'm being honest. Every time I voted against them, they won. I picked them last week, they lose.
I'm going to go with the Saskatchewan Roughriders against my better judgment because I know they don't play in Montreal very well. But I think this team is different than past years. I like the way that Cody Fajardo is leading this team. I like the way that the team is playing around him. I am concerned a bit about the injuries. Zach Evans in particular. He's on the sixth game, so they're missing that.
It's a big one.
That big guy up front, that big Canadian talent. But McKenna Henry, if he can stop taking penalties, can replace him. We'll see about Mika Johnson. So they are nicked up a little bit, but I still like the way the Riders are playing right now with Fajardo now the undisputed leader of this team. I'm going Saskatchewan.
Good call. Good
Woodsy, I'm
call.
with you. Sasky.
Yeah.
Going with him.
Woodsy rocks.
Okay.
They are riding it. Let's go.
All right. So again, 2-2. 2 for Montreal, 2 for Saskatchewan. Friday night as well, the Ottawa Red Blacks in Edmonton to take on the Eskimos. Let's see who has. Okay, Stace, you go first.
I'll go Edmonton at home. Ottawa still figuring some stuff out, and good on them. They came back late, but I'm still sticking that Edmonton is a good football team. They'll continue to play well at home, and they'll win.
Darren.
Going with Edmonton. I think I agree with you there, Stacey, on that. They're just at home, and that was a loss they didn't like in Calgary. So they're hungry, and they're.
Yep.
I don't think Moss is going to let them do it. He's an intense guy. Like I'm watching at home, and I'm afraid of the guy.
Intense?
He's intense.
He's a nutbag.
He is. I mean, that's the only thing about the Eskimos that does concern me is that they kind of take on you always take on the personality of your coach.
Yeah.
He can become unhinged.
Yep.
Yeah, very much.
And
we've seen it, right?
That's got to be a concern. Who do you like in this one?
You know, I'm going to go with Edmonton. Same thing. I think had they won last week, but losing last week, a tough game at home. I'm going to go with Edmonton.
I've got to go with Edmonton as well. I mean, they're at home. They'll no doubt be checking about the way they lost last week against the Eskimos or the Stampeders, and Ottawa's just still trying to figure things out.
Yeah.
I just, they've lost just too much. They're not together yet. I don't think they, So I'm going to go with the Edmonton Eskimos. So it's a sweep for the Eskimos there. All right, our final game. Saturday, BC at Hamilton. The Lions coming off a bye. They had about 12 offensive linemen in practice this week.
Oh, God.
They haven't got a clue what's going on up front. What a disaster.
Yep.
So I'll go first, and I'm going to take Hamilton because...
You know what, Woodsy? Because of all that chaos, because it seems like a mismatch, and because weird stuff's been happening in the CFL, I'm taking BC. I'm going with BC.
All right.
I mean, Toronto beat Winnipeg last week, right?
I love being bold.
Yeah, let's do it.
Being bold, except when you're picking the Argos.
No.
But that's okay. That's almost as bad, actually. But
Well, I'm
I
not
like being bold. I like.
Good for you.
I don't think Steinar was going to get fired for losing this game.
No.
Willy.
Willie? Are you sure?
Hey, Claybrook's might.
Is it my turn?
Hang on, yeah, it's your turn.
Zoom in. Come on, zoom in here. BC all the way. Tony One Nostril said BC.
Okay.
Don't zoom in. Zoom in. Yeah, sign don't zoom in.
Okay.
All right. Well, a couple of lefties over there on the left side of the table are going with
Wow.
the BC Lions.
No.
Casey, you got the guts to do
No,
that?
I just made eye contact with Artie Pinsetter back there, and we're sticking with Hamilton. Simone Lawrence is back, right?
Yeah.
So Simone Lawrence is back. They had
And Banks might be as well. He was only put on the one game.
and they had 11 offensive linemen in there. I don't think they've picked up any playbook, and Hamilton's defense will dominate that O-line.
You guys have no idea.
Hey, your glasses are on.
Yeah, your glasses are on backwards, buddy.
Speaking of no idea.
So I'm going Hamilton.
All right, so we've got 2 and 2 there. Well, it's going to be an interesting week in the CFL, week number 9. A reminder, you can check out all the action, especially Friday's game in Montreal between the Riders and the Montreal Alouettes.
Right here.
We'll be here live at the Lancaster Tap House. We'll have the game on, and of course, the Green Zone Game Day Party will be held right here at the Lancaster. Reminder that the pregame show is on, let's see, what time is the game anyway?
Game's at 5.
Game's at 5, so the
Pregame show at 3.
will start at 3 o'clock right here on at the Lancaster Tap House. Of course, you can listen all week to the CJME Green Zone. Your chance to win a VI package. You get
Our theme song, singers here.
you and your 3 friends grab a table, get some appies, get some drinks, all courtesy of Coors Light.
My autograph sessions are at 5 p.m.
Enjoy what many believe will be a Riders victory. And you can also reserve the table, by the way, www.thelancaster.ca.
But before we break, do we got time for a quick shout out?
Sure.
We're all going to the baseball game tonight. Quick shout out to another great Regina team, the Regina Red
Absolutely.
Sox.
Let's go
Hey,
Sox.
let's go Sox.
Let's go Sox, one of the top
Playoff
teams.
bound, and hopefully
Yep.
they can go all the way.
Yep, good luck to the Red Sox tonight and in the playoffs.
Let's get a Coors Light and a hot dog.
All right,
I'm ready. Have yourselves a good week. We'll talk to you again next week here for Woodsy's Weekly Pick.
right on. Hey? Oh my God.
Oh my God.
That's a wrap.
Coming down the plains, stealing wheat and barley and all the other grain. And it's a high, farmers by your doors. When you see the Jolly Roger on Regina's mighty shores. When you see the Jolly Roger on Regina's mighty shores.